Alright, everybody. Last mini lesson of this unit, I think. We're going to work on finding a fraction of a number or set. Strategy number 3, which is multiplying. I believe you already have our first two strategies on the same page. If you have them on the same page and you want to just open to that page, that is fine. If you did on separate pages, or if you need room for a third strategy, go ahead and make a new page for this strategy. We'll work the same example. In your notes, it was this one. Mr. Perry, 12 children, 2 fists. Excuse me. 2 fists have brown eyes. When we get to the we do. But anyway, so go ahead and find that or make a new page for strategy number 3, multiplying. So I'm going to change this up a little bit. We've done this problem first about the PTA buying soda, and they're buying 12. And they were buying 24 the last couple times we did it. Just to simplify this a little, I switched it to 12, and I think we'll cut out the. Well, we can probably do this right. And we've done this a couple of different ways. So one was we said, okay, well, if they're buying 12 sodas, we did the visual. And so there's going to be 12 sodas here. And since we're talking 3/4 of them will be Coke, we divided this into fourths. And we put them all in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we did it with 24, but this way we said, all right. And so 3/4 of them are Coke. 3 of the 1/4 groups will be Coke. And the other will be other. And so there would be 9 Coke. And another way we did this was with the number line. I'll do the sprites with the number line. And so we said, okay, they're going to buy 12. 1, 6 will be sprite, so I made the 12 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a little more room, 12. And a little different than our normal number line is we said, okay, ignore the 0. But now there's 12 of them on here. A 6 will be sprite, so I have to divide it into 6 groups. And so I kind of said, all right, that's going to be a 6. And that's going to be a 6. 2 at a time makes a 6. 3 groups of 6. 4 groups of 6. 5 groups of 6. And 6 groups of 6. So every 2 makes a 6. So that means 2 will be sprite. And that's how we did that. So I want to show you something. So in math, sometimes in math there are keywords that tell you what operation to do, right? Like when you see like together or like put together, that usually tells you to add. When you see the word like difference, what's the difference between how many Susie has and how many Jimmy has? Difference tells you to subtract. And groups, depending how it's used, that might tell you to multiply or divide, right? There's kind of like keywords that tell you what operation to do in math sometimes. And a very simple way to do problems like this, remember, oops, let's change this to 12. So when we do this question, I'm looking for 3/4 of 12, or 1/6 of the 12 sodas. I'm looking for that. And in math, the word of, when it's used like that, 3/4 of 12, that is a keyword to multiply. You also see that word tell you to multiply when you see things like 3 groups of 5. That would tell you to do 3 times 5. Right? Or 6 groups of 4. That would tell you to do 6 times 4. So a very simple way to do these problems, when you're doing 3/4 of 12, or you're doing 1/6 of 12, even though it doesn't maybe make as much sense as the visual strategies, if you understand how those work and how to show it, a shortcut to get your answer can be this really means 3/4 times 12. And this really means 1/6 times 12. And we learned 3 ways to do this earlier in the unit. We learned how to do it with a number line. We made jumps of 3/4, 12 times. We also learned how to draw visual models where we drew and shaded in. Or our simplest way, and since I want this to be sort of an only if you really understand it and really want to make it a simple way, is to do repeated addition. And I can just do 3/4 plus 3/4 12 times. Could have picked a better number than 12, huh? That's why I didn't do 24. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a lot to add, but it's not really that hard. I know it's going to be fourths. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. And this is kind of a strange answer, 36/4 cokes. But if I change that to a whole number, it is going to be 9 cokes. Every 4 of them makes a whole. 9 times 4 is 36. So it's going to make 9 cokes. And check it out, if I go back and show you before, oh, look. 9 cokes. If I use this strategy, I see why it's 9. But if I don't want to do all that and I just want to cut to the chase, or visuals are harder for me to do, then I just check it out. I can just do the addition. Same thing with 1/6. 1/6 of 12. 1/6 are going to be sprite. 1/6 of the 12. So that's the same, if you can remember, like that, 1/6 times 12. 1/6 plus 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 1/6. 6 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This will be easier to add. It's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that is the same as 2 sprites. And if I go back to the visual strategies, check it out. Ooh, 2 sprites. So you'll get the same thing if you just multiply the 2 numbers. So that's your third strategy. So let's do open your notebook. Let's do, this is going to be even worse because it's a 20. Let's do your Mr. Perry problem with 2/5 times 20. So I left this here so you could see how it worked. Last time we did this, we divided the 20 students into fifths. There were 4. 4 kids made 1/5. 4 kids made a fifth. 4 kids made a fifth. 4 kids made a fifth. And so 2/5 was 2 of them. So that was 8 students. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my eraser. I'm going to leave the answer. I'm going to leave the question. And let's just try it with that repeated addition strategy, just so you can kind of see it work on a more familiar problem. All right. So I'm sorry, this is going to be a lot to add, but here I go. So I'm going to do 2/5 times 20. That's the same as saying 2/5 times 20. Of means times. That's the main thing I want you to take away from today, is that of is like one of those magic math words that tells you what operation to do. Of means multiply. So here we go. 2/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. All right. Sorry that took so long. So that's a lot of 2/5 to add up, but that'll add up to what will be fifths: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, fifths. That's kind of weird to say 40/5 of a student. It's right, but if you calculate how many 5s go into that 40, you'll get, guess what? 8 students. So, I'll be the first to tell you, with problems like 20, where there are 20 of them to do, this is not the strategy I would probably choose. It's probably just as easy to draw the visual model, or just as easy to draw the number line as to do the multiplication out to 20. But I want you to know it's an option. So if you don't really get why this is true, don't worry about it. You will never have to use this strategy in 4th grade. It is really not even a strategy that kind of goes with what we're doing. I just wanted to teach it to you because, one, it works. I'd like for you to see that no matter if you do it this way, you get the same thing. And two, and problems like these that we're going to do tomorrow may not be so bad when you're doing like 12 instead of 24. And because, we learned how to do that. So I just wanted you to know that that's an option. If you prefer the number line strategy and you prefer the visual model strategy, no problem. Do this every time. You will never be required to do this. But since it kind of connects to other stuff we already learned, I wanted to show it to you. So if it would help to go back and watch either example again, please do. Once you've got this as your third way to do this problem, you're all set. See you tomorrow.